All praises to Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video aimed at just a particular journey that everyone that believes in Yahweh, especially the men of our nation, man, what they are going through, right? Because you've got these people in this world that they question why the Hebrew Israelites are angry. They question why we don't like anything really, right? But how would they feel in this particular situation? Now, you might say, what situation? No one's doing anything to you. Who's stopping you from going out and getting a job? And like, that's the lowest of all things, man. Now, there's plenty of people in this world that have jobs and they have the so-called things that's supposed to make you feel peaceful in this world, but they're still miserable as hell as well. Like when I'm out and I see men with their woman in a grocery store or out in public with their woman and that, they're genuinely, and generally don't ever look happy to be with their woman, man. And the woman's always walking out front. The man's always behind a bit with his arms folded a lot of the time, like, oh man, when's this bitch gonna stop buying things, man? He normally doesn't look happy. They normally don't. And then the women that are by themselves are normally thirsting off for attention from some men, or walking around like they're so high and mighty above every other man, to where they want the men to look at them, but they want to know that, but there's an invisible force field around me where you ain't even worthy to try and talk to me. But then when they see a guy that they think is so-called worthy, they won't go up to him and talk. They'll expect him to go up to them because they're so used to every other man wanting to try and beg for their attention, man. And it doesn't ever work for them like that. Or when they see a man and they perceive that he's got some kind of money, then they want to try and be humble. But they've never been able to just be neutral with the men that they don't like. They've always had a high and mighty attitude with the men that they don't like. So then when they come across a man that they do like, they don't even know how to act. Right? And these are just small things. That's all part of the things that the men of the elected nation of Israel are going through. Because let me read this scripture first. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. All right, so that's the first part of this verse. Surely understanding that you're oppressed would make a person that's wise mad, right? And a gift destroyeth the heart, but getting given the right gift in this society can make you be like, you know what, he ain't so bad. Okay, we're in Babylon the Great, but look at this chain that I've got though. Look how shiny it is. I still, every time I pull this chain out, the women always go silent for a few seconds and they're just like, oh wow. And the men start hating on it. Like, even I've noticed that people that have nice cars in this world, and this is just a small thing, but most of the time when people have nice cars in this world, yeah, they're never actually happy to have the nice car unless people are jealous of it. The men that have the nice watches and stuff like that, they're never happy to have these things unless someone else is jealous of it, man. Right? They enjoy that they only want these trinkets a lot of the time because they want somebody else to be jealous of that thing that they have. That's normally how it goes, man, in this world. And it's quite disgusting, this place, man. The women want other women to be jealous of them, to the point where women try and insult other women now for having a real body and thinking that their body is better than theirs because they paid money to get that bum looking like that, when it normally looks stupid anyway. Right? It normally looks stupid. Just pick what women do, yeah, is no different than, let's say a man's got small biceps and he's like, man, I want my biceps bigger, and he gets some fat drained out of his legs and then has it put into his men don't care about having a big bum, right? Unless there's some next type of man out here. So let's say they had the fat from their bum drained out and then put in their biceps. That's what you women are doing. That's literally what you women are doing, to have a big bum with a BBL. Let's say a man got a BBL. Let's say BBL stood for Brazilian bicep lift or Bulgarian bicep lift or something. Yeah. And men was like, you know what? I don't like my arms. My arms, like, they're hanging in the sleeves, man. Like, my arms ain't touching the sleeves. So you know what? I'm going to get some fat taken from my bum because I don't care about having a big bum anyway. Right? and I'm gonna get it put in my biceps so I can have bigger biceps when I flex. That would be absolutely bonkers, mate. But that's what you women are doing. You're seeing that you're fat, literally be fat as hell. Like a woman that's 180 pounds most of the time, unless she's crazy tall, is normally going to be a bit fat, man. Let's just be real about it, right? She's gonna be fat. She might have some nice parts of her body that look okay, but her stomach's gonna have some fatness to it, man. Normally, right? And they'll think it's okay to just get the fat from all these other parts put in their bum. To the point where there's these crazy women that are walking around actually thinking that they're fire and they're fat, but they've took their most of the fat on them and had it drained into their bum, and then now their stomach looks flat, but they're completely unhealthy, and they actually got the nerve to think that there's something out here. And that's the kind of society that's the kind of place that this has been that we've made, man. Well, I'm not even taking the blame. That's the kind of place that Esau's made. And us as the Israelite man, we know that we're the next in line to rule. So how could we not be miserable every single day that this kingdom lasts one day longer, knowing that we're supposed to be ruling the next and that we know all the different ways that we want the world to change? Okay, they're legalizing adultery. In our kingdom, we ain't going to legalize adultery. Okay, everyone's eating pork. We know that the pig's got a better use than eating it. Okay, all the men, several men are walking around with clean shaven faces. That's not the one. We're seeing LG3T people, alphabeters and rainbowers are running around. We know that that's off. We're seeing thieves getting away with being thieves, but then we're understanding why the people are turning to robbery anyway, right? And there's different kinds of thieves. There's thieves that steal luxuries, and there's thieves that steal necessity. The thief that steals necessity is not to be blamed as much as the thief that steals luxury. Somebody that's waiting outside for people with their phones versus somebody that's stealing food. It's not the same thing at all, right? It's not the same thing, man. Not even close. But there's punishments for the thief that steals luxuries. Inflation and all these things, like, and we're having to stomach this society, but we know that we're supposed to be ruling. We literally know now that we're supposed to be immortal, but to be immortal as Israelite men in the most beautiful kingdom ever. How could you not be angry down here then? How could you be in a society where the best that they hope you can do, the best that they give you the chance to be, yeah, is a movie star, an actor, a sports athlete? Like, I can't really think of much two other things. An actor, right? A movie star. Well, that's the same thing. A movie star, a sports athlete, and a singer of some genre of music. That's the main three tasks that they give to Israelite men in this world. That they're like, okay, yeah, we understand that you're the best at that, but yeah, go and sing or something. Or can't you sing? Like, I remember before one time, man, one Edomite came up to some brothers on a camp, right? And he said to them, "You need to be more like that guy over there." And then he pointed to a guy that was playing steel pans, and I was thinking, mate, are you a dickhead, bro? You think that these men are supposed to forget that they're supposed to be ruling the earth and play steel pans so that you can get some amusement? Fuck you. But that's the way how these people think that Israelite men are supposed to be like, man. We're supposed to play steel pans and sing what. In fact, let me go to this. I think we're supposed to sing one of the songs of Zion, man, and shake ourselves up so that they can have an enjoyment, man. Where's this scripture, man? Psalm 137 and verse 3. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. And that's all they require of us. Sports is mirth. Actor and actress is mirth. Singer, songwriter, that's mirth. Right? And these are the only three tasks that they allow you to do. And then here's the thing. In order to even do one of these things, it's not just going to be based on whether you have the talent or not. And I like, some people might know that I used to do this when I was way younger, and some people might not know. But I used to I used to want to be a boxer, right? And I remember one time, like one time a while back, when I went to fight a army soldier, right? I went to fight an army soldier in a Nottingham army base, right? I believe it was Nottingham army base. We went all the way from the city that I'm from, traveled to Nottingham in the UK, right? Which I'm from the UK anyway. And we traveled all the way to the army base in Nottingham, and there was armed guards there before we got in and all that, right? And then like all the people that was fighting in front of were pretty much army soldiers and their wives, their girlfriends, or whatever, right? But before the fight actually took place, right, I got brought to the back. I got brought to the back, yeah, and I was in front of the guy's coach, and he was like, "Oh, okay, so the guy hasn't been training for a while, right? So I want you to just take it easy on him." And I'm there thinking to myself, "What the fuck's this guy talking about?" And I'm looking at my coach like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" Right? And then he was basically saying, "Okay, win the fight, but don't knock him out." Right? And I'm young at the time, or young-ish at the time, right? Still in like my late teens or whatever, right? Which back then is considered younger than it should be actually considered in the real world, in the as far as the kingdom goes. But like, that affected how I fought in that fight, man. And that wasn't even no money involved. You didn't get paid back then in them times. But for the professional fighters, you think that they ain't getting told the same thing then? If I'm getting told that a decade and a bit ago or whatever, right? Then you think that these professionals ain't being told these kind of things. Okay, so you're gonna have to fight, yeah, but here, put these pink shorts on. Haven't y'all noticed that there's always these fighters and they just be giving them pink shorts every now and again? Pink shorts and pink gloves. Why are you giving them pink shorts and pink gloves for? Why are you giving them pink shorts and pink gloves? But they always have that. Javante Davis has been wearing nail varnish now. Does he really want to wear nail varnish? Oh no. Maybe he does, maybe he don't. Maybe he does, maybe he don't, man. Anthony Joshua holding man's hand, and man's got his hand all on his lap and all that. And you can say, oh, it's different cultures and that. Okay, that's not the culture Anthony Joshua's from though. So why is he having to bow down what he's about, have a man putting his hand all on his lap and all that, man? So even when you make it, so called make it, right? You're still having to bow down in this world anyway. So you don't end up, okay, we run the sports thing and you just pay to keep your dignity. No, you have to do the sports thing or the acting thing or the singer thing and lose your dignity, man. You gotta be Lil Nas X walking on the street, birthday suited out, being a weirdo, right? You gotta be Terry Crews, having some man grab your groin right in front of your woman. Like, you're having to be Marlon Wayans acting LGBT alphabet in a rainbow and off on My Wife and Kids. You gotta be the other one, Damon and whatever his name was. Damon, the Wayans and all that. You gotta be the Damon and whatever the other one's name was, man. You gotta be them. Being what's it called? On White Chicks, right? And then going back to the Terry Crews thing, that guy, after he got his groin grabbed in front of his wife, said that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to experience. So, okay, what was the most embarrassing thing that you ever did before that? Because I guarantee he wouldn't have said it was when he was on Friday, the movie Friday with Ice Cube and Cat Williams, and they're saying Tupac, Tupac, Tupac. I love it when you talk gangster, nigga, and lusting at being made to for his character lust after Tupac. And then Cat Williams later on said, as far as that movie goes, that they initially planned on having the character that Cat Williams was going to play get R-worded by Terry Crews, and that was supposed to be a comedy. How the fuck's that a comedy? There was actually initially going to make him go through with getting R-worded by that character, by Terry Crews. And I wonder if Terry Crews was complaining about having to have his character scoop grape juice, a man in the movie. Because Cat Williams spoke up about not wanting to have that. But I wonder if Terry Crews was spoke up at any point and said, I don't want my character to have to do that. Nah, I'm not having my image used to do that. Like, they don't get to leave with their dignity. Mr. Diddy Bopper, or him flying around all the world on having a baby or a marathon. Well, you think that came out of nowhere, or had people do that kind of stuff to him? And then now made it difficult for anybody else to get famous because he knows what he had to do. And that's the reason why some of you people out there that you're struggling to try and get into the fame world and all that, or you might be a YouTuber and you're struggling to try and make it in the YouTube thing, just know this. It's not because you don't have the same talent as these other people. It's because you would not be prepared to do what they was prepared to do. Most of them man are sold out in some way and you just don't know what they've did. And they don't want you to know what they've been doing, man, because they know that you would bait it out. Or they think that you'd bait it out. They think you would start telling what they've been doing behind the scenes, man. Like, this world is truly disgusting, man. And we're not supposed to be happening down here because we're the ones that's supposed to cleanse this world, man. We're the ones that's going to rule this world and purify it. Because the current people in charge are not doing that, for damn sure. They're not doing that. They've got it horrible down here. They've got you women thinking that you're better than men, but then at the same time, you're begging men all the time. How can you claim to be better than somebody, right? But you're always begging them for money, and not because you're like, okay, I can handle all my own financial things. And if you want to talk to me, you got to pay to be in my company, right? It's because you actually can't afford the things that you're talking about. You can't afford it, right? You got women texting 5 men in their phone, all asking for the same amount of money, and they're like, okay, if one gives me the amount of money, I'll send the money back to the other guys. No, they keep all the money. So if one man asks 5 men for $500 and they all give it, she's gonna have 2,500. She's not gonna be like, okay, someone's already paid it, thanks. I'll give you yours back, thank you. She would never do that. They would never do that, man. Women in relationships with their men, they got all these ideas that they just start picking up out of nowhere. Randomly one day, they just watch a TV show and there's some character that's not real, that they give a luxurious life on the movie or the TV show. And now she's like, oh, I want that life. And now she knows she can't get that life for herself. So who has to get it? You. She wants you, your dumbass, to go and get it, man. She can't get it herself, but you have to go and get it now. Some random thing that she just thought about yesterday. And that's why most of these women love getting their nails done. Because they see all these celebrity women getting their nails done all the time. All these little reality TV show harlots. They see them getting their nails done all the time. So then they want to get their nails done all the time, man. And you know what I've noticed as well? That most of the women in this society have become Eve. They've become the so-called black woman. They're not literally her, but they act exactly like how she acts now. Because initially when the so-called black woman was being made into the creature that she's became, that was done to try and destroy the Israelite man. But you have to remember this. The main woman that this stuff was done to was the women of the tribe of Judah. And the tribe of Judah has the power of influence over this whole earth. The power of influence in the earth stems from the tribe of Judah first and foremost. Now, you could say it stems from the southern kingdom, which is also called Judah, but I would go so far as to say it's from Judah in general, the so-called African Americans. So when the so-called African American woman was put in a position where, which is the woman from the tribe of Judah, when she's put in a position where now she's destroyed, right? She had the ability, because she's the top nation of women, top tribe of women, from the top nation, she had the power and the ability to make it look cool to be rebellious against men. You had all these Beyoncés, these Destiny's Child and all that, and they made it look cool to be defiant to men. Now, Beyonce and them Destiny's Child, they were kind of, Beyonce in particular, she was kind of an actor because she got a man. She weren't completely stupid. She got a man. She listens to men all the time. Men are the ones telling her to do all of these things. Men are the ones that are telling her to sell out. And she's possessed, by the way. She's a real demon, man. It don't matter how pretty she looks, man. And she don't even look as good as she used to look back in the day. And it's not just because she's old neither, right? It's not just because she's old. She looks like, she to me now, with my eyes, she looks evil, man. She looks real evil, bro. And then now from that era of music, you got these Megan Thee Stallions, these Glorilla, Sexy Red, Suki Hana, Ice Spice, and they're straight trash. Cardi B, and they're whack as hell. They just spit one bar, 118, especially Ice Spice. She says one bar, and then the next thing you know, she turns around and just starts twerking. I'm like, mate, you're gonna sing or what? You got any raps lyrics, bruv? The most dead flow. And then twerk. Oh, you didn't love me, you didn't love me, you didn't love me. Twerk, 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 twerk. Oh yeah, I'm a boss queen, I'm a boss queen. Twerk, twerk. Bars for 10 seconds, twerk for 30. Bars for 10 seconds, twerk for 30. Oh yeah, you didn't know I'm a New York bit. I'm a baddie, twerk, twerk, throw it around in the circle, throw it around in the circle, throw it around in the circle. I'd have to say out of all of them, maybe Glorilla's the best one musically. Maybe I would say that. Out of all of those women that I mentioned, maybe Glorilla, you know what I mean? But she's bugged out as hell too. She's done all kind of lyrics in her songs that are just abominations. And then the thing is, you Jake still worship these rappers, man. You Jake still worship these rappers and star yourself off them, and not knowing that these man have est off a small hat backstage at one point. Man, I'm telling you, you might think, nah, they ain't. Nah, these man are real, man. Ain't you heard his lyrics, bro? Man said, I'd never do no poppy show thing like that on his. You see his first album? I'm a real nilla. What you on about? He would never do that, bro. What are you talking about? He could never do that. He did it. Yeah, he did it, man. Most of it, or most if not all of them, have did something dodgy behind the scenes, man. Whether it was even causing you to be violent or make lyrics that are gonna make your people violent. Okay, I'll do that. Minor. Make style yourself so that the men are gonna think it's okay to dress like women. Okay, I'll do that. No problem. No problem. Make lyrics so that the women hate men. Okay, I'll do that. That's what the women will be getting. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, no problem. Make lyrics that make the men think that make the women think men are supposed to pay for every single thing in their life and get nothing in return. Okay, I'll do that. No problem. Yeah, that's easy. Now they might word it a different way. Make lyrics to empower women. But what are they saying they empower them to do? Are they empowering them to be righteous Israelite women according to Proverbs 31? No. They empower them to be wicked demons that really no man likes and only wants to sleep with. And they'll pay whatever funds the woman might say to sleep with them until they're prepared to not be with them no more, man. Which is the reason why you can have completely ugly looking women like Selena Powell. I think she looks like the goldfish. That fish from that Will Smith movie, man. The one where he's under the sea and all that, and it's Shark's Tale and that. She looks like the fish from Shark Tale, bro. And she might look worse. And the fish from Shark Tale is a cartoon, mate. She's looking like that, with tatted up, acting like she's the best looking woman on earth, you know. When she probably looked better before all of that stupidness on her face and all them crazy ass tattoos, man. And she'll be walking around like she's a 10. And men will actually deal with it, man. That's a disgusting tramp, as far as I'm concerned, man. Looks wise and personality wise and actual wise, man. Spiritually for damn sure. But that's the kind of women that actually think that there's something in this world, man. When they're tramps. You understand me? You think that there's any chance of a dirty rat like that getting on a chariot, but never. And as that goes for these Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blues as well, they ain't never getting on no chariot, man. If there was ever people that deserve to go in the lake of fire, it would be people like that, man. And then the women that are jealous of them a lot of the time, and the women that are running their mouth and got something to say, they've been there like that too themselves. It's just they ain't got their thing on recording, man. Because ask any man that's been to university or college what he saw these women do. Ask him. Ask him what he's seen them do. Yeah. And it's not nothing righteous, mate. And then felt it was normal. It became normalized for them to do that too. Women going to university the first week, and they got a boyfriend. Their first week, they slept with 3 men in their university halls. In the first week, and then he's calling her up like, "Oh, when am I gonna come and see you? When am I gonna come and see you?" And she'll she'll actually allow him to come down, man, and have him shaking hands with every single one of the guys that she slept with. Disgusting, mate. I've seen this. Absolutely disgusting. And then these women now, decades on, will think that they're righteous, or be complaining about how they ain't no good men. But the good man that you had was the man that was prepared to come and see you when you was in your university, but you was too busy getting drill out by men in your halls. But now you've had your job and had your career for a bit, and then you realize you don't want to work anymore. Oh, now you want to try and start balling? Nah. And this is the world that we're supposed to be happy to live in as Israelite men. Of course, we're gonna feel oppressed. Of course, we're gonna feel oppressed, man. We're gonna be angry down here, right? 2 chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh. And part of the words of prophecy that Yahweh is putting in the men's mouths is that this society is going to fall. And it begins with America falling. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, meaning they're going to happen. Fear not the imaginations against thee, they're not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, because there's plenty of people that don't want this place to fall down. They can see that it's falling, but like, nah, it's going to raise back up again. They don't want it to fall, man. They want it to keep rising. Right? The last thing that they want is for this society to fall. They can't imagine it. They're like, nah, it has to rise up. Fear not them, verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. There ain't nothing to be said on that. It's clear. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness have exceeded, polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, meaning that there's a limit to this wickedness. But I don't think that the limit's been reached yet, because it's not completely normal. Like, I personally think that we might be living in a society where we just be walking on the street one day, and we walk and looking and walk past the alleyway, and then we see two men grunting off in the alleyway, man, just disgusting. See two women LG3T'ing it off, alphabeting and rainbowing. See people doing a madness in the alleyway with each other. I'm talking like Gotham City kind of vibes, man. I think it's gonna get to them kind of levels, man. Where you're thinking, raw, I didn't know it was Pride Month. I didn't know it was so-called Pride Month. And you're like, it's not, bruv. It's actually not that month. So, and you'd be like, well, why are all these people moving around like that then? I think there's gonna be a phase where people are that bold to be on that kind of stuff, man. Now, that's just me saying that. I could be wrong. But what the kind of things you think people was doing in Sodom and Gomorrah, man? It's already bad enough that they have a month dedicated to this stuff. But I think it's going to get to the point where you're like, raw, it's coming like every single day, is that? And it might only be in certain set places, but I wouldn't be surprised, man. And that can happen easily. It don't even take for a few months to go by, and that's the kind of world that we're living in. Because the more people start to get tied down and like weakened by how they ain't got this and they ain't got that financially, the more they're gonna be like, well, I ain't holding back on nothing that I want to do then. All the things I want to be like, I'm just gonna, and that's why you'll see people that might be on public transport singing a song through their headphones, just spazzing out, singing bare loud, because they ain't got nothing left and no hope. So they're like, you know what? I don't care about being ashamed no more. I'm just gonna spaz out. Verse 7, therefore saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Because that's the Israelites, man. We're complaining continually to Yahweh, man. Our souls are complaining. You might say, I'm not complaining continually because I gotta sleep. They might say, you man are not, don't, they might say you don't exaggerate because you're not complaining continually because you gotta sleep. Well, our souls complaining continually, and that's what it says. And the souls of the just complain continually. Our souls continually complaining, man. And that's why some of you people out there, you might not even know the full in and outs of the Hebrew Israelite thing, and you might stumble upon this video. The reason why you're mad and you're sad and you're angry and stuff like that, and you're talking about how something within you is dying out, is because you're really spiritually connected to disbelief than anything else in the world, man. You're more connected to this than you would like to admit that you are. So the world's turning against you because you're part of this thing. But then everyone's going to start languishing anyway. Those that do believe and those that don't believe, the people are going to languish anyway. Right? The people are going to languish because they ain't got nothing left. Verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's what the American, so-called African American, Negro, Latino, Native American are like in America. They're like a sheep led to slaughter, man. Because no one don't really care. If you ain't singing or dancing, if you ain't Chris Brown levels of singing, if you ain't Chris Brown levels of dancing, you ain't nothing in America, really. They don't care. If you ain't no YouTuber streamer barking, if you ain't barking on stream like I Show Speed, they don't business about what you're talking about. If you ain't Kai and that, they don't care what you're talking about, man. If you ain't Rampage Jackson acting like a fool, which he knows some things and that guy does. I've heard some of the things that he says. He knows certain things, but he acts like a fool most of the time. Because the other people that listen to him or watch him, they couldn't handle some of the things that are of more worth that he would say. But if you ain't one of those kind of guys, and then you're in America and you're in anywhere else in the world, they don't really care. If you're just a smart Israelite on a workplace, the people are going to be hating. Like, what you on about? They're going to be trying to undermine what you're saying. If you're just a colleague in a power plant, in a factory, on an assembly line, and you're just doing your job faster than everyone else, they're not going to respect that. They're not going to care. They're not going to care about that. They're not going to care that you're faster than everyone else. They're going to be like, yeah, so what? Who cares? Somebody else that's a few seconds slower, who cares? We're higher than them. I can mock and laugh about them, and I don't have to feel insecure when I've got that person there. And that's why we're angry. Because even if we do so-called get the qualification to do all these things in this world, you people are still going to try and bother us, man. Because you're demons and you know that we're better than you. And it grieves you that we're better than you, considering that you know all the things that we went through in this world for it to be believed that we're not better than no one else. In order for you Edomites to actually have the confidence that you have now, a lot's had to be done to us. And you're still not that confident. You're still not that confident, man. You have to still lie about who you are and pretend like the things that you've did to get where you are not wicked. Because if you tell the truth about it, you know that you're a loser. Verse 11. In fact, verse 10 again. Behold, my people is as a flock to slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which means that Yahweh did at one time suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, and he did. He allowed us to suffer in the land of Egypt, Babylon the Great, America, for centuries. But now, he's not going to suffer them to dwell there. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. And part of the plagues is for the financial system to crash. Now, they're thinking in their mind, we're crashing it and it's going to go back up again. No. They're crashing it to their own demise, man. They're making themselves fall. And that reminds me that there's a video that Apostle Hard did that I've put on a playlist about how Babylon can't compete with Moab. And they really can't, man. When I've looked at some of these Moabite cars, I'm like, raw, they're really doing it, man. And then it makes me think, damn, imagine what Israelites could make then. Imagine what we're going to make. When Yahweh Shai gives us that heavenly knowledge. But I will smite Egypt with plagues, and I will smite Egypt with plagues before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's this place is this place is being destroyed from the inside out, and it's gonna end up lashing out to the rest of the world, right? And then the rest of the world are gonna be like, nah, you ain't finna try and make us be as destroyed as you are. It's time. It's time for Babylon to go. Then they're gonna regret the decision because they're gonna realize that that's cause for Yahweh Shai to come back, and that their main customer is destroyed. They're gonna be going the moment they destroy Babylon the Great, man. They're gonna go through a hell of a lot of emotions all in one go. Wow, America's destroyed. Damn, there's Yahweh Shai. Damn, there's the angels. Damn, the Israelites are getting. There's certain people getting beaten up in chariots and not facing the flames. Damn, that means that Yahweh Shai is real. Damn, that means that all the prophecies that these Hebrew Israelites was talking about are really gonna happen because we've starting to see a UFO that's big as hell, absorbing people up into it. And he looks real angry towards us as well. And now we're gonna have to fight him. Damn, they said that this was gonna happen. They said that if we wanted to keep our society, we shouldn't have released the MOTB, and we did it all because of our arrogance. But now after we lose this fight, which is inevitable that we're gonna lose this, that means that the 1,000 years of captivity that they said we're gonna go through is gonna happen as well. And these emotions are gonna take place within seconds, man. Within seconds. And then minutes, and then it's going to turn to where they've been in that in our kingdom now for like the first hour. They're gonna think they're gonna. Oh man, when I really think about that first hour, man, that first hour where they realize that, man, like just just really imagine that you've been ruling the world, and then 1 hour goes by now, and you've went from being the top to the worst. And you're now on a boat getting taken to where you're gonna face captivity. Like that's hell. Imagine what our people went through that. And guess what? We were them people. We would have been there. In our reincarnations, in our different reincarnations, we would have been those people, man. They would have been those. But Esau's gonna have to go through that. Imagine that first hour that he's really found himself in captivity, man. That journey, or that first boat journey, boy. That's gonna be a hell of a journey, man. There ain't gonna be no one talking on there. There ain't gonna be none of that fake ass English wit humor. There ain't gonna be no one making no jokes. Or I wonder what they're serving for dinner. There ain't gonna be no one coming with no stupid jokes, man. There ain't gonna be no keep a stiff upper lip, buckle up your bootstrap. They're gonna know there ain't nothing funny around here. There ain't gonna be nothing funny. There ain't gonna be no weird innuendos that you're gonna do, no hanky panky and none of that bubble and squeak, apples and pears, none of that bull BS, man. There's just gonna be misery and dread. They're gonna have saw what happened to their best military, man. Because that's what they all glorifying. All these Edomites. They all glory in their military, really. And that's so when they complain about all this spending, they don't really complain about, oh, why he's spending all this on military. They don't really say that because they know that's what's keeping them in power. But they're going to see Yahweh Shai dominate all of that. Yahweh Shai is going to dominate the best of the best military with ease. It's not like he's going to struggle and he's going to be sweating, like having to sit down and have Yahweh give him advice on how to, come on, my son, who I'm well pleased. You just got to stick out the jab more. He ain't going to need no advice from Yahweh. Yahweh already knows what he wants him to do from the beginning. Yahweh Shai and Yahweh already connected on what Yahweh Shai is going to do when he comes here, man. Yahweh Shai had 2 days in his mind, in his timeline to be thinking about this, but since millenniums in our timeline to think, man, when I can't wait to get my hands on them people that pierced me, you know. Yo, I can't wait to get my hands on one of them stinking ass so-called elite families of this world. Yo, I can't wait when they see me. Okay, they think that that's something. I can't wait till they see this chariot that my heavenly Father Yahweh made me. I can't wait to see these people. That's the kind of vibe that Yahweh Shai is, and he's gonna get you Edomites, man. He's gonna get you. And prophecy says when you see him, you're not going to be bold. You're going to say, hide us from this wrath of Yahweh, and from him that sitteth from the wrath of the Lamb, and from him that sitteth on the throne. For the day of the Lord is at hand, and who shall be able to stand? You're not going to be proud. You're not going to be like, yeah, I finally drawed him out. He can't hide no more in the heavenly realm. He's had to come and see me now. Now I've been waiting for this, activate the laser guns. You ain't going to be saying none of that. You're going to be running scared, man. what did Mike Tyson say? Scared of the real man. Scared of the real man because you're a little Mike pussy. Scared of the real man. You hoe. You maggot. That's what you Edomite is going to be on. You could never say nothing to me in my face. Say that in my face, you punk ass fight bud. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing in Yahweh Shai's face. You're gonna be dumbfounded, you stupid idiots, man. So yeah, we are mad down here. We are angry and grieved. So what, man? Why aren't you grieved? Are you a demon? Is that why? Oh, you ain't grieved down here? Or maybe it's because you're a wicked scumbag. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and I will smite Egypt with plagues before I will destroy the land of, and he's literally going to destroy the land. He didn't destroy ancient Egypt that way. He's going to destroy this modern one in that way. Babylon the Great, man. America. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. And the plague and punishment are the ICBMs, which America was at the founding of making. So they made their own destruction, stupid idiots. Verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation. And that's coming. Famine's coming to America, man. And it's coming to the whole earth in general anyway. What, except the elect to the nation of Israel ain't going to be experiencing that, man. Yahweh can make food out of thin air if he wants to. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All you people living on earth, man, get ready, because judgment's coming. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And this is going to happen, because you people are not kind-hearted, really. You're just good actors. The so-called black man always has the limelight put on him, the spotlight put on him and his crimes, but you other people do wickedness to each other too. Because in the areas where there ain't no so-called black people, is there a police force there? Yes, there is. Does the police force have calls about crimes being committed? Yes, they do. So don't try and make out like we're committing all the crimes around here, because we're not, are we? It's just our crimes get put the limelight on them. Because if we had a police force of so-called black men and decided to over-police you so-called white people, we'd see a hell of a lot that you're doing. We'd see a hell of a lot, man. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their power. If you're strong enough to do what you want to do in that day, you're going to be able to do it. If you're not strong enough to do in that day what you want to do, you're not going to be able to do it. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, and this is going to affect you women in particular, because you love gallivanting up yourselves all around the world, man. The nightclub for women used to be like the kingdom of heaven in their mind, because it was just a place that they can just go, free alcohol, free entry, free attention, might meet a guy that's the richest people in the city that you're living in right now. That's the richest in the eccentric kind of way of making money, and you can just go there every single weekend to get energy, ego boost. You can ignore all the men that you don't like and just sit on the sidelines and do nothing and get attention from people and act like you're the shit. You can throw drinks in men's face, say that he attacked you, and he'll get thrown out the club. And these are the things that happen in them places, man. They can dance with, twerk up their batty on one man. Then a guy that's about 1 inch taller and got a bit of more of a ponytail length, start twerking it on him instead, and then twerk it on the next geezer, and then twerk it on the next geezer, and then twerk it on the next geezer, then leave and go back home to your man. Because that's what a lot of you fucks was doing, huh? And then say when you get home, oh, it was a quiet night, it was dead. But thanks to social media, you end up getting baited out, man, and you're baiting yourselves out. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Because of your pride that you people sown, these cities are going to be troubled, man. It's not going to just be as peaceful as it used to be all the time. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and the great tribulation. And that's going to involve everyone getting attacked by the sword, man. It's not going to be no exemption because of your age, or because of your gender, or because of your political class or social class and social standing. In fact, a lot of the people with the so-called high social standing have been exempt from having to ever get their head bust when they've deserved it a lot of the time, man. They're gonna get a taste of it too. Yahweh's gonna bring judgment on all you wicked people, man, because you attacked his little ones, and you was troubling his children, man. The Negro, Latino, Native American, who are not really none of those names, and we're really the Israelites. We're the lost tribes of Israel, man. And you people are gonna pay what you did to us and all the torments you did to us, man. Now you can either agree and accept that, or you can further add even more crimes, right? You can decide, now I'm going to not do any more, and you're still going to be judged for all the things you did in the past. Or you can decide, I'm going to double down and try and do more, and you're going to be judged for those. And that's your choice to make. Yeah? We're going to see. And on that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.